good evening, everyone. Hope you all are keeping safe and healthy during this pandemic time. Sitting at home and getting bored? Don't worry. As per our commitment to keep you engaged and make you meet new people while sitting at home, we are back yet again with another episode of Kids Live. Today we have with us Alok and Shishir. Mr. Alok Nikhil Jha, a postgraduate in technology from IIT Delhi, is currently heading the Triple IT Delhi Innovation and Incubation Center as Chief Operating Officer. He has diversified experience in corporate, academic research, consultant to government department, and has his own startup in Canada. He's also into social venture, and one of his products, Toifi, the toilet finder app, is currently being used in more than 90 countries across the world. Welcome, Alok.
Thank you. Thanks, Aditi.
We also have with us Shishir.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, so we also have Shishir with us today, who is the co-founder of Kidspreneur. He is a serial entrepreneur, technology proponent who believes technology will touch our lives in future in never thought before ways. He has executed some of the challenging technology solutions for government enterprises alike. He has a vision to transform the education sector in ways not thought before, and Kidspreneur is just a start for him. Welcome, Shishir.
Thank you for the welcome, Aditi. And I welcome Alok Nikhil as well on the show finally. And he's one of the coolest persons who is heading such an innovative segment there with Triple IT Delhi and some tremendous startup ideas which he has conceived. Welcome, Alok. Finally, good
Thanks.
to have you on Kids Live.
Thanks, Shishir.
So, Alok, we had, some interesting questions for you, that will, give us a lot of insights and also will help us to know many more things that we didn't know, I believe. So let's start with our interesting questions.
Sure, definitely.
Yeah. So the very first thing that we would want to know from you is, can you please tell us what is entrepreneurship and what is innovation in simple words?
So, innovation is what everybody sees and everybody thinks, but nobody thinks that it's the right way to do it. So, it's just like I'm just using the words from Dr. Albert. So, what he says that innovation is what everybody has seen and thinking, but nobody has actually thought. Okay, this is something, and okay, this could be one way of doing it. But when it comes for the implementation and many other things, that is something unique part of it, and that's something we don't do every day. I mean, there are many problems you see, and some quick solutions comes to your mind, but you never think of okay, let's try doing it, get into that, and that gives the flavor of an innovation. And innovation could be of two types, and out of these two types we get this thing called entrepreneurship. So this two types is one is like evolutionary innovation, and second I would say kind of innovation that revolutionizes. So I don't know if everybody is aware that the mouse is invented by Xerox. Xerox is a company. We call Xerox as a Xerox machine, but Xerox is a company. They invented mouse, and then they felt, okay, this is a useless device. What we are going to do, but holding it, moving it here and there, and Apple bought that license from them. So Apple was the first company who integrated their computers with these mouses. Similarly, the fuel injection system in the carburetor. Somebody built it, Ford built it, and they were not very much active around it. But once they started getting the feedback from the people, so they have sold their IPR, they have to buy it back, and then they started using those injection systems in their machine. So that is an evolutionary innovation within an organization. I felt something can be done. I did that. So Xerox invented a mouse is an evolutionary invention, and very less people know about it. Now, revolutionary innovation. Apple thought, okay, this is a good innovation. Why don't we take it and create our own product? So they revolutionized the whole world with their product. So that is a revolutionary innovation. They they have seen that item. Everybody has seen it. They identified, okay, there's an opportunity. Why don't we take it and create a new use case? And that's how this second part of the innovation comes in the part. These days, I mean, in last few decades, we call something called disruptive innovation. The existing ecosystem, you think of something, just trigger it and everything is changed. So that's how we call it disruptive innovation, like Internet of Things, drone technology, recommendation systems, NLP are the kind of disruptive innovation. From the innovation, we have seen, okay, these things are there. Now I want to take a lead. I identified, okay, this is an innovation. So there are two parts of the innovation. Once you identified the innovation, अब करना क्या है इससे? The innovation हो गया, I have seen it. Either I'll secure it as an intellectual property right, or let's create something out of it. That thought process of let's create something out of it is entrepreneurship. तो बेसिकली हम इसको entrepreneurship बोलेंगे, and every time we link it with कि भाई एक idea है, उसको किसी business से हमने जोड़ दिया और पैसे कमा लिए. But here on a generalized term, entrepreneurship has also the factor of intrapreneurship. जरूरी नहीं है कि हर idea से आप business बनाओ, but at least once you start learning that feature, भाई मुझे idea आता है, I'm thinking, so that thinking ability is the entrepreneurship, and implementing that entrepreneurship to giving it some shape, then it's something, a new baby is born, that is called a startup. So they all are linked. So that's how it goes on.
So that's great. Today we came to know that innovations are also of two types, revolutionary innovation and disruptive innovation. Next time, whenever there's an innovation, we'll try to, categorize it to understand it better.
In fact, three types. Disruptive. This is a baseline of these few decades. That's what, which injects all the factors in these evaluation and revolution.
Okay, that's great to know. So as we understood about innovation and entrepreneurship, so we are saying that these are two things that go hand in hand. So how do you think that innovation has changed the entrepreneurship ecosystem in the recent years?
So whenever a startup comes in, or whenever entrepreneurial mindset comes into your thought process, so that thought process, that thinking ability is kind of makes me, I'll try to put it with an example. So I have some idea in my mind. So that idea came while I was walking on the road. I saw, okay, this is something, it's problematic, or this is something which is existing. Why not we improve it in some or other way? So that is something came to my mind. Now, this thought process of improvement or creating something new is itself an innovation. So that's how they are linked. With the new idea, you might have heard the word unique value proposition. What is unique? It's just your mind with which you are trying to identify, okay, this is something unique part of it. And this thought process which you are bringing in is coming from your innovative mindset. So like in the intellectual property right business, we can even secure our thought process in the sense business processes. We can always secure that. अगर हम अभी नीचे खड़े होकर आम तोड़ रहे हैं, मैंने बोला मैं डंडे से भी आम तोड़ सकता हूँ. If I want to get this process as a patented, I can do that. If there's a new thing or there's something existing and nobody has noticed that this is a kind of innovation. So there are many things around it, and it's an infinite world. And every time you think of something, it is directly proportional to innovation when you try to add some value into it.
That's great to know. So, sir, talking about innovation, can you please tell us some of your favorite innovations in the recent years?
Some of the favorite innovations. Okay. See, Elon Musk, everybody knows, so I don't want to go to that level. So the N number. Okay, have you seen the coffee mugs? Everybody has seen the coffee mugs. And we generally see, okay, some messages are there, you can get it from any store. I've seen a coffee mug wherein you have multiple three-dimensional photographs printed. And whenever you pour the coffee, hot coffee, from one direction, you'll see some photograph. The same hot coffee, and if you just move it a little bit, on the same place, you'll get another photograph. And if you remove that hot coffee, you won't see anything, just a plain cup. So this is something I really liked it. Just an embedding of two photos at an angular level, and then these photos are this photosensitive, heat sensitive. So whenever heat is there, and whatever angle, these photos are coming up. So which is very simple thing. And this, I think, whenever you go to temple, तो वहां पे मंदिरों के बाहर एक फोटो मिलती है जिसको अलग अलग एंगल पे दो फोटोज दिखती है. सेम कॉन्सेप्ट अप्लाइड हियर, खाली उस मटेरियल में हीट सेंसिटिव सेरेमिक डाल. इट इज अ वेरी सिंपल आइडिया. Similarly, in the wearable technology, I would say, there are t-shirts coming up who can measure your body temperature. So जैसे अभी हमारे पास आई वॉच है, एप्पल का वॉच है या जो भी स्मार्ट वॉचेस, they can measure your body temperature. So now there are t-shirts coming up wherein you don't have to wear a watch or any sensor. It's just that sensors are coming in the threads. जो धागे हैं वो कॉटन के या नायलॉन के नहीं हैं, वो मेटल के धागे हैं. They are made such that it's not going to affect your body, and it's just the cloth, and with this cloth many things can be sensed out of it. So this is a good thing. There are many more. I mean, I'm just trying to think of some unique thing, and that will fascinate you कि भाई ये तो हमारे आसपास है, but we have not seen. So, yeah.
I think innovation is a vast world, and
actually,
anything that improves or enhances an experience of a human being or helps somebody in the process can be very fascinated. Can be a very fascinated solution for others, and that's what innovation is all about: to figure out small things that make a big difference in your life. For example, I think the best example is the remote. The founder of television may not be as rich as the founder of the remote, because he has become much lazy. But that's a fantastic innovation. You know, you just don't want to get up and switch off the television when you're feeling sleepy or stuff, or you want to change the remote, you want to change a channel. So I think these are the small things which make a big difference as far as the innovation is concerned, and it is such a big world, such a big world.
And when, Alok was talking about t-shirts, I was thinking, what if we get t-shirts, which will keep us warm during the winters, like just t-shirts that can keep us warm, because we have sweaters and all already. And why don't we have t-shirts that keep us cool during the summers? That will be like a very good innovation right away.
Yes. So there's something like that. I've seen it. So so right now they are like kind of attachment. You have to remove one. So you just buy it. Both of them are attached. You remove one, you can use in one weather. You just attach this part, you can use in other weather. In fact, one good thing, I have seen that once you go outside country in the winter season, you go to buy a jacket, they'll ask you want to use this jacket up to how much temperature. So I have bought one which is for up to minus 30 degree, negative 30 degrees centigrade, minus 30 degree. And if I go for minus 40 degree, there is some other jacket, and the weight of the complete jacket is same. That's one thing which I was very fascinated, that with the temperature they are giving you the clothes with the same weight. It's just the material inside and how they would have created this material. Up to minus 20 there is something, up to minus 40 there is something. That's really fascinating in terms of the polymer industry, what they have done.
So innovations, it's something that's happening every day. It's keeping us going ahead. That's great. So, sir, we also know that you work closely with a lot of students, helping them in their ideas. So, how is that experience different from working with experienced professionals?
So, working with students, you have to be a student actually. So when you are working with a mature, what you are saying, it has a weight. But when you are working with a student, you have to be at their level, because they come with any idea. But I have to ensure that ecosystem is very much silo free. There should not be criticism on any of their dumb ideas. Rather, once they come in, we kind of spend time. I just sit over a tea. Whenever I get some student talking to me, my first thing is, okay, can we talk over a coffee? So that they are relaxed, they say everything. After that, listening to them, some basic questions, I give them some homework. Do this and then come back. If they come back, it means they are little serious. If they never come back, I know it was a time pass for a coffee. So once they come back, then we start, identifying ye kar sakte, wo kar sakte. There are a hell lot of plans we make. And I know with the student, implementing everything is not easy. They have academics to take care of. and most of the times they have a family behind who would not like to, you know, go for the entrepreneurship path in all the cases. So it's good. I'll just quote one of my student. I teach. I used to teach one course, starting your venture. It's a 4 week course wherein a student comes in with some idea. 8 weeks course, and over the time of 8 weeks, he has to get out as a starter. So in one of the success stories, this guy came up with the idea of drone. He pivoted to a junk management. By the time he graduated, it's completely a waste management company. And this guy worked very closely with me, kind of, I keep on pushing what he's doing, what he's not doing, how he's acquiring customers. And over the time, he recently, last year, he got some funding from an international organization just as a competition. So I keep on looking, okay, this is relevant competition. I bring it to Triple IT. These students participate, and his idea was amazing. He got selected in the final round of YC, Y Combinator. And the idea is very simple. It's just that passion. Once you see it, you just keep on pumping it, and they'll grow. तो बच्चों के साथ ये थोड़ा सा मोटिवेट करो and help them to persevere.
So, talking about children and kids, how do you think can they use motivation as a tool to grab the hidden opportunities?
See, the only motivation I feel has to come from the parents, not to do some new things. Rather, whatever is existing, think about it. The fan is rotating in clockwise direction. Why clockwise? Why not anti-clockwise? I know there is a physics behind it, and students in class 9, 10 might know. But if you start cherishing the things right from the childhood, make them think a lot. So as a little child, everything is easy. I mean, if you see a 5 years or 6 years or 7 year of old child, if you tell him कि okay, हम park में हैं, he or she will try to do all the idiotic stuff, and the parents keep on shouting ये मत करो वो मत करो. Over the time they grow up, they feel कि अच्छा ये नहीं करेंगे यहाँ से हम गिर सकते हैं. They start becoming conscious, and then we start telling him ये मत करो ऐसे मत करो. From the parent side, from the student side, and this development circle over the time it becomes very limited and very focused with 10th, 11th, 12th, art, science, commerce, and then identifying the stream. Rather, if we try to make them think, I mean, if they're studying, what's the relevance? If they're playing on the mobile phone, what's the relevance? Why can't they make their own mobile phone? So I personally, to my nephews, I have been pushing them, hey, in the holidays, instead of playing on the mobile phone, play it. Why don't you create a new Ludo with your own set of rules? I mean, that's not a complicated thing. Why don't you create something of your own? So once you keep on pushing them, they may not like it, but actually they have 1 or 2% in their mind, okay, I'm getting some push from somebody. So that has to come from all the angles. The teachers have important role to play, that giving some standard homework. Rather, to try to curate in some or other way that that should help them. भाई ऐसे होगा, इसको ऐसे करना है, ऐसे लिखना है. In a new way, not कि भाई बोर्ड में दिया लिख दिया, कॉपी में लिख दिया, असाइनमेंट सबमिट. They are important, but other things are very important.
So, talking about kids, this one thing comes into my head. So, I know this small kid who is in the 5th standard right now. He's not so good at studies and he hates studying. You tell him that you have to study, and he starts crying. He's like, I can't study. And give him a phone, a laptop, he can do anything. He can crack any password, he can do anything. And yesterday, I was having a word with his mother, and I was telling her, why don't you get him enrolled for some, course that is technology related. And she was reluctant. She was like, nahi padhta to hai nahi, isme aur karwa dungi enroll, zyada time waste hoga. So like, such perceptions are there in the heads of parents. So like, how do you think can they tackle this and promote their kids?
So I tell you, Aditi, at times this is one case, and at times when a kid says कि okay, I'm doing this also, I can do this, and parents are very happy, okay, मेरा बच्चा 8th class में है, he's very good in mobile or using Photoshop or PowerPoint, he's going to become a software engineer. I mean, that correlation is not at all correct. Now let's talk about this case. So this kid is not at all ready for the studies. Let it be. I mean, let his parents should say, okay, mat padho. But at least if you want to get into something, you must have some basic knowledge. Rather forcing them in the standard way in which he or she doesn't like it, why don't we do in some other way? He or she should get some interest. See, uh, in one of the student session I was taking, it's an NGO I went for teaching. I wrote something on the board. Intentionally, I wrote something incorrect just to see if people are sleeping and if they respond to that. And they did. Then while teaching them verbally, I said, this thing is just like that. They said, no, this is like that. So that I wanted to ensure that they start creating that rude behavior, start fighting, at least they can keep their point. So there are certain ways you can make psychologically motivated. Now in this case, I mean, ideally, if I would have seen this case, I mean, theek hai, khelo to mobile. If you play 5 hours with the mobile, use 1 hour of the study. I mean, if you can't study, at least we can discuss. You read and you tell me what is there. In a different ways we can teach.
I also like to add here something, and this is very unique to our concept Fitspreneur as well, where we highlight a report where it says creativity diminishes with the rising age, as much as by 80%. So that only comes when we as a parent or we as a senior in the society try to control the younger mind by not letting them question. And I think that's what kills the innovation per se. The more the kid is inquisitive, asks questions, look around its surrounding, notices it, and tries to change it. Maybe for good, may not be for good, but if it tries to change it, that means his innovative or entrepreneurial things are kicking in, and that's what pushes. We need to understand their mind, their reason, their point of views, and try to figure them out and guide them to the right way. I mean, it may not be necessary every time they're doing the right thing or wrong thing, but at least they're trying to question the normal. And that's what an enterprising mind is all about. Solving something which other feels normal, and he finds a solution for the society and humanity.
Right. In fact, I'd like to add here. So let's say if the kid is playing continuously in mobile or something, you can always cross question what it is happening, why it is happening, why they are this colors, why the player is always with a gun. Can we do something कि उसके हाथ में gun ही ना रहे? With all these questions, that kid will think, okay, let's find out the answer. And many times when the student or the kid is cross questioning, asking for some n number of questions, you may also tell them, okay, this is internet, search for it. If you are not able to search it, then come to me. Otherwise, you would not know how to identify the solution. You will be dependent. So there are different ways to how to, that has to be identified in the real time and the age of the student, how to handle these situations. Parenting is an important part. You can do a session on parenting.
Important as well as difficult, I think.
Yeah, that Shishir can say. He's a parent.
Yeah, I can definitely say that.
I just have some bookish and practical cases. That's it.
Yeah, with a kid who works more on PUBG and computers than.
Right. So you ask them why PUBG? What is there in the PUBG? Can he make
I thought
any
really PUBG. I think he's more interested in computers, hardwares, and he knows everything which even I'm not aware. I mean,
right.
What processor is good, what memory is better, which brand performs better, and
again,
what.
So I tell you should go and ask him, why this processor is good, where I'm going to use it for a normal Word and MS and Office and all these work. Will it be useful or won't it be overpricey for me?
Best part is I don't have to ask. He tells me everything by default.
Yeah.
This is why you should choose this. This is why I like this.
Right.
But yeah, let's have another question for Alok.
Okay, so before that, I would, as you were telling us, I think you have a tech guru already with you at your place. So you can give us suggestions also whenever we need that. So I won't take much of your time, Alok. I just have one more question for you. So there are two things when we are coming up with a new innovation or maybe a new thing. One is there's either early idea validation or building everything first and then going to the market. So which one do you think is better and why?
See, the proof of concept is very important. So that's how this idea validation is very important. In some of the cases, I would say in exceptional cases, when you think that you don't have to organize the things, let's keep working on that. And when you are able to bear the risk, the losses if something happens, it could be, monetary loss, it could be any other kind of loss. So that's fine. You can simply, with an idea, just try to jump into the field. But the POC is very important, and in the proof of concept, we simply validate. Kind of, so even when I say validate, it's kind of identify whether it is doable, whether it is feasible, whether it is viable, whether it is worth pursuing further, and whether it's going to bring any change or update anything, or if some company is already doing it, if I'm able to add any value to it with the new version, or maybe with whatever idea I'm starting, is there another use case to implement same? All these 10 questions we should ask ourselves or within the team, or have everybody to criticize. Once this criticism is there, so I'll call it a pre-mortem. Like we have post-mortem, there's a pre-mortem of your idea. Once you have done the pre-mortem, then you move ahead for the prototype and other stuff.
So I think positive criticism or the healthy criticism is very important in life otherwise also, so that you can always be informed about your decisions and all the things that you're doing basically.
Right.
I have a question for Alok, one more, and I think he is working on one of the wonderful projects called Toilet Finders. Tell us something about that. I mean, that's an amazing social impact idea, and that collaborates with the national vision as of now, which we are undertaking already. So just tell us briefly about it before Aditi has to wrap up her show.
So I launched it in 2014, end of the 2014. So we started with a basic idea, and public toilets are there, but there's a lack of awareness, and they are not clean. I mean, even if okay, there's a public toilet, it requires a lot of courage to go there. It requires really a lot of courage, and this is something which is a need of an hour for everybody. I mean, for the normal people staying in Delhi, the commuters, the travelers, who are the tourists coming from outside, the patients, the old age people, for everybody. With that mindset, we thought of creating something like that, who can at least, this product can at least showcase wherever the toilets are. The original target was Delhi only. So we launched it within 3 months. Initially for 2 months, we didn't check any analytics. We thought it becomes very over ambitious when you don't get results, and this over ambitious is towards the negative side. So after 3 months, once we checked the stats, maximum number of users were from Germany, and minimum number of users from India, and precisely no one from Delhi. So that was little strange that people in Germany have started using it. We got some good and bad feedbacks also, but at least people are using. So with this, now we started polishing it. And over the time, there are many versions released. The UI was changed, made very simple things. And now with this, our algorithm is designed in a way that whatever it is on the Google, it will come itself without any effort. So if you search with any other app, so many apps came into the scenario in last 1 year or so. If you open them, and if you open ours, so their algorithm is very complicated. They take 1 minute, 1.5 minutes to load everything. For us, it's 2 to 3 seconds, maximum 5 seconds, wherein we load all the toilets within us. It's just that you fix the distance. Let's say you make the vicinity to 2000 kilometers, you'll get everything within this 2000 kilometer radius. You make it 2 kilometers, you'll get everything in 2 kilometers. Then it was basic location, finding idea, but toilets are everywhere in terms of hospitals, restaurants, petrol pumps, police stations. Some of the government offices also allow you go and you can use it. So we started identifying these data and started pushing it on our system, on the server. So now if you want to identify a washroom in a nearby location, all these places are available, and hospitals are pretty clean. You can anytime access it. Hotels, you can always go. And let's say if you want to locate some petrol pump, you can simply put a filter So they'll give you the toilet within a petrol pump. You can simply go and buy fuel if you are stuck and we don't know where is the nearby petrol pump. So like this, created use cases primarily only for the toilet finder. And now the another major problem we had कि ठीक है हमने तो common people can easily do it. What about physically disabled? There is nothing for them. So with this problem we added one more feature. You can select if it is for physically disabled or disabled friendly. You can get that parameter, that toilet which is disabled friendly. I mean, it's a kind of check button. So with all these things are implemented, you can always add a toilet. If something is already added, you think that this is incorrect, you can remove it. The ratings are there, the cleanliness rating, water status, whether water is there or not, regularly clean, it's paid or it's free, its overall quality, all these things. And if you feel that, okay, this is a location, यहाँ पे toilet नहीं है. Let's say if I'm at some location, I feel that, okay, there should be some urinal. And यहाँ पे है नहीं. So you can always raise a request. It comes to us, we compile those requests within that range, and then we send it to the authority. Because this is a major requirement, you can think of building one self-sustainable bio toilet over here, or any PWD department. So that is the cream of it. And now the new thing which is coming is women, if they have to feed their kids, nursing mothers, they don't have places available. Airport has allowed places, railway stations. Apart from that, there's no place. So now we are identifying the areas which can also be mapped. And apart from that, some of the hotels, we are trying to reach out to them, whether they'll allow women to come to their facility to feed their kids, and they should have some arrangement. And they should also serve some drink, some free drink, maybe a Coke or something like that. So that creates a confidence among the society, among the females precisely, and it's a kind of service for them as a gesture of being good. This part is working. We are working on, and from technology part, it's ready. It's just that we'll integrate once we have the couple of such things. So
amazing, amazing app, and I hope people keep this app downloaded on their mobile phones when they go out, because this is one app which will come handy whenever you need most. And with your business idea, I would coin something called incremental innovation now, because once you are into an innovative startup and you're running a business, you need to keep improving it. And with your app coming to help for disabled friendly app kind of a thing, I think it's an amazing innovation. Over to you, Aditi.
Thank you. When I was listening to Alok's story, I was, understanding the meaning that you always have to, go a level higher than your problem to find out its solution. I was literally getting, yeah, this is the right thing that we hear. So, thank you so much, Alok, for joining us today with us, sharing your ideas, your stories, your great insights. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aditi. Thank you, Alok.
Thanks, Shishir.
Thank you, Shishir, for joining us. So before we end today's session, I would like to thank all of you for joining us for this session. These testing times under the COVID-19 situation have created a vacuum and forced us to face times that we had never dreamt of. Engaging kids has become quite an effort who are forced to stay inside their homes 24/7. This Kids Life initiative, like many others, may help you in keeping your child engaged. Stay tuned with us. Thank you.